Hello, Limit Break. It's been a little while. I'm pleased to bring you guys a One Piece deck profile today from the set that recently dropped, Romance Dawn. This game is really, really fun. It plays a lot like Dragon Ball Super, which I love because I loved Super so much. That's actually why we started the channel originally, was to bring you guys Dragon Ball Super content. Well, the game kind of died locally, so that's why you haven't seen any Dragon Ball Super content. But Digimon and now One Piece is so popular, especially locally for me, that I'm just gonna bring you guys that kind of content, and hope you guys like it. And we'll keep on keeping on and see what we get from there. Anyway, so this is set one, like I said, Romance Dawn. Uses some starter deck cards, but we're going. Leader we chose was Roanoa Zoro. And then we have our Dawns, which is kind of like your energy. You start out with 10, no more, no less in your deck, and if you're going first, you flip one over, and then every turn after that, you flip two over, and that's kind of like your energy you tap for and pay. So all of our Dawns are the only Dawns in the game right now. Is your turn, 1Ks. So that's what we got. Maybe they'll make more Dawns later. I don't know. But here we go with the deck profile. Our leader is Roanoa Zoro, and he has the effect Dawn 1. When one Dawn is underneath him, it activates the effect. All of your other characters get 1K power. So he's really good to boost up your entire field without really having to push out Dawn underneath your characters. They get a 1K as long as one Dawn is underneath Zoro. So that's our leader. It's red. There's a couple different colors. There's purple, there's green, there's blue, there's red. We're getting black later, and we're getting, I think, a yellow later as well. There are some dual colored stuff too out there. So moving on, this is a Straw Hat deck. We started with our 1-drops. We have 4 Tony Choppers. He is our 1 cost and a blocker. So he helps us take care of some of those hits that we don't feel like comboing out of. And we'll just, we'll throw it on a chopper, and he'll take the hit with the block later on. And I like my sleeves too, by the way. Really Straw Hat vibe. Our next 1-drops, we have 4 Nami from set 1. She is the on play for the cost of 1, of course. This is your cost up here. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal a Straw Hat Crew character other than Nami, and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck. So she's our searcher. She helps us grab the cards that we're really looking for, which I'll show you guys later. But there are cards you want to look out for in this deck to help you get the W off really quick or quicker. So Nami just helps us get there. Now keep in mind, it's a Straw Hat Crew character. It's not, you can't add Straw Hat Crew options. Well, not options, they're called events and stages. So for example, these are just 2 cards I have on the side. You see how it has Straw Hat Crew on this event, and it has Straw Hat Crew on this stage. You could not add either of these two. It has to be a character. So, but moving on, just pointing that out. It has to be a character. But we got a lot of good Straw Hat characters that we're looking for in this deck, to be honest with you. And I want to say our last one, our last 1-drop is the Nami from the starter deck. She's really good to help you use your rested Dawn. So you'll pay the 1 for her, and the 1 that you paid for her, you could still put it underneath a Straw Hat. Actually, not even a Straw Hat. It's not type specific. You just put a rested Dawn under your leader or a character. So yeah, once per turn. So you can use your rested Dawn to power up your dudes. And then moving on to the 2s, we play 4 of our starter deck Usopp. He's a really good card, especially he has the trigger. Now trigger activates whenever it's checked in life. So you would check it, and if it has a trigger, you may or may not activate that trigger. He's a really good check, and then it just floods the board real quick. And then he also gets around blockers or at least beefy blockers. He has the Dawn. If you have 2 Dawn underneath them, come on, focus. Okay. If he has 2 Dawn underneath them when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blockers on characters that have 5k or more power during this battle. And then they also have another thing that I haven't pointed out. Just like Super had combo power that you pitch from hand for combo. Now you can only combo defensively in this game. Offensively, you have to use your Dawn to power up your dudes before you attack. But you combo defensively with this game, and we have a lot of 1Ks to kind of just pitch to spike out the damage. 2 drop, 2K. We put the 2 Dawn underneath him, 2 and 1 Dawn underneath Zoro. His effect's alive, and he's a 5K dealing some damage, just for a 2 cost, which is cool. Second, we play 4 of the set 1 Usopp. Mainly, we play this for the counter 2K. Most of these cards are only 1K counters, so we have a couple of 2K counters to help us pitch less things to combo out. But he does have a good effect. He costs 2. And then when 1 Dawn's underneath him during my turn, when your opponent activates an event, draw a card. So when they activate counters to negate the attacks, well, not to negate the attacks, but to not take damage and stuff like that on my turn, like if I attack and they use an event that boosts their dude to not take damage, I will draw a card because they're using an event. But like I said, mainly, I mean, we'll use that effect if we want to draw a little extra cards or something. But mostly we use that as the 2K combo. And then next, another 2K combo, the last 2K combo in this deck, unfortunately. You can run as many 2K combos as you want, but the deck was pretty tight with a lot of, what's it called? I don't know. I want to say aggressive, but I don't feel like that's the right word. But better options. Like there's the deck's trying to swarm out rush and hit you real quick, and so we kind of don't really rely on too much defense. But he has 2 costs on play. You may put 2 Rested Dawn underneath one of your characters. So he's like Nami, but instead of putting 1, you put 2, and this is on play. Nami is once per turn whenever you want. Active main. And he is a 2 cost 3K, and then like I said, he's a 2K combo, so he's our 5th and 6th bigger combo piece. And then moving on to the rest of the level 2s, we play 2 of this main set, set 1 Luffy. I was going to go down to 2 to 1 on this, I'm sorry. But I decided like 2 was fine, because it is a good card. He has Dawn 2, and this is all turns. Just Dawn 2, when 2 Dawn are underneath him, he cannot be KO'd in battle by strike attribute characters. So that's basically, they have an attribute at the top, similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! They have like water and stuff like that. This has like strike, shoot, slash. See, Zoro has a slash. So they have different attributes. But he can't be KO'd in battle by other strike ability characters. And then once per turn, I may give this character up to 2 Rested Dawn. So he's another. This deck likes to do a lot of that. I'll use my Dawn, and then I'll use various abilities to put those Rested Dawn underneath my characters to just get bigger attacks. But yeah, so that's it for that Luffy. And then our last level 2s is for Sanji from the starter deck. He is a 2 cost 4K, and then when 2 Dawn are underneath him, he gains Rush. So basically, ideally, if you have 4, you'll pay the 2 Dawn for him, then you'll put 2 Dawn underneath him, and he can attack right away. Because Rush, just like Digimon, Rush means it does not have Summoning Sickness, and can attack right away. Normally, cards do have Summoning Sickness, and you can't attack with them the turn you play them. But Rush is basically the can attack whenever you play it, ignoring the summoning sickness. Now, a lot of the good cards in this deck aren't going to have a combo cost, which is fine. You kind of even that out with the combos you do have and the events you have to not take damage. But a lot of your really good cards don't have combo power, so keep that in mind when you're using when you're building your deck and when you're using your combo, because you will fizzle out combo if you're trying to defend too much. So we have 4 of the set 1 Nico Robin. She costs 3, has a 4K, and she's a strike. 1K counter. She has Dawn 1 when attacking. KO one of your opponent's characters with 3K or power or less. So she will, she'll swing, and if they have any 3K or less blockers, it could kill that blocker it could kill that blocker before they declare a block. So a lot of times we have a couple cards in here. I'll get to them shortly, I think, or I might have taken them out. No, as I'm looking at them, I still have them in here. So she pairs really well with the card later on. The card later on, when attacking, you minus 2K power on one of your opponent's cards. So, if it's a 5K, you swing with that minus 2K, it's a 3K, then you swing with Nico, and then it could kill that card. So technically you're killing a 5K because you comboed it off with the different cards. But yeah, so that's our Nico Robin, part of the Straw Hats. And then moving on, we have 2 of this Frankie. It's the only Frankie we play in the deck so far. And it has cost 3, 4K. What's the ranged? Okay, ranged attribute. No combo cost, because again, most good cards don't have combo costs. So he has Dawn 1. He can attack your opponent's unsuspended, active characters. So he can swing into something. Typically, just like Digimon and Super, you can only attack things that are tapped or always your leader. You can always attack the leader even if it's not tapped. But Frankie, if one Dawn's underneath him, he can attack active characters. So if you're swinging, you could swing at one of your opponent's problem cards. Like, for example, in the mirror, if we're going against Straw Hat and they're running the starter deck Namis and they just keep putting Rested Dawn underneath their dudes every time, or if it's another deck that has cards that are just problematic and they are not attacking with them, so they stay on the field, this can just attack right into it, even if it's active. So that's he kind of gets rid of those little problem cards that we call. Next, now I'm gonna throw this out there. This would be better at 4, but I've only been able to get my hands on 3 of them. But the 4th card would be one of the same. So we play 1 Zoro from the starter deck and 3 of the Zoro from the set. This Zoro, it costs 3, no combo power, 5K, and it automatically just has Rush. So you just play it, it can attack right away. This would be the 4th one if I had one, but this card is going for $20 right now. I was just lucky to have gotten good deals from my friends who have opened many boxes. They kind of hooked me up with some good deals. Pretty much picked them up for like half price. Like one dude valued 2 of them for $10 pretty much, which was awesome. We have a really helpful locals. But I was only able to get my hands on 3, so this is just kind of taking up the slot till I do get the 3rd one, because it is a good card. It's not the Rush Zoro, which is what we're trying to do. The starter deck Zoro is 3 cost 5K. Dawn 1, when you have a Dawn underneath him, he gains 1K power. Now that is during your opponent's turn as well. So if he has a Dawn underneath him, and you've swung with him for he gets the 1K from his Dawn and then the 1K from there. So you swung at 7, and then when it passes turn, since this is only during your turn, this will go away. But since he still has a Dawn underneath him, he gains that 1K even on your opponent's turn. So it'll pass, and he's a 6K on your opponent's turn. But like I said, this would be the 4th one if I had it. So if you can afford 4 Zoros, by all means, do that. It would be this would be the 4th Rush Zoro. But this is what I have it at just because it's what I got. And then I want to say, moving on to our level 4s, yes. We only have 3 of them. And this is the card that pairs with that Nico Robin that I told y'all earlier about. So, Dawn 1, when attacking, give 2 of your opponent's characters, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters, minus 2k. So, this pairs with that Robin. Excuse me, a lot of talking makes me on. So, you know, you'll get 1 Dawn underneath them, and then when attacking, you minus 2k 2 things, and then if you have a Robin on the field, you'll swing, and you can kill something a little bit easier. He's a 1k combo, and then he has got 5k and costs 4. You know, he's a good card. I thought about him at 4, but honestly, deck's kind of tight as it is. So I just run 3, and 3 has been fine. And then our last character card, we run 2 of the starter deck Monkey D. Luffy's. So this card is a dude, bro. Let me tell you. So he costs 5, and he has Rush, and he's a 6k attacker, and he automatically just has Rush. And then Dawn 2, when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker during this battle. So if they have a field full of blockers, and you play this Luffy, and you're able to get 2 Dawn underneath them, and you swing, he's 8k with the Dawn. Hopefully you got 1 underneath here, so Zoro will buff him up to 9k. So he's 9k as it is, and they can't block. So that attack's either going to go through, or they're pitching cards to combo out of it. I would love to run that card at a 3rd one, honestly, but like I said, deck space is kind of tight. I don't know what I'd take out. Maybe I'd take out probably one of the Namis that give you Arrested Dawn. I'd probably take one of those out for a 3rd one of this. But the Nami that looks the top 5, you know, helps you get to this a little quicker if you really need it. Most of the time, Zoro kind of does the work, though, because you're playing him early game, and the Sanjis, you know, you're just popping off with your Sanjis and Zoros. Moving on to the events, we only play, how many is this? 7. You don't really want to play too many events unless you're blue. I know there's a blue deck out there that likes to play a lot of events. We play 1, excuse me if I don't pronounce this right, Diablo Jambe. Yeah, looks like Sanji on the card. I don't know, but anyway, one of your Straw Hat crew leaders or characters. Select one of your Straw Hat leaders or characters. Your opponent cannot activate blocker on that leader or character's attack during this turn. So this originally wasn't in my deck. It was a starter deck card. I actually ended up taking this card out because I wasn't going against a lot of decks that had blocker. And then I went against a deck that had a lot of blockers. It was a blue deck. And it was just hell trying to kill those blockers. Or kill my opponent because he just kept blocking. And then he was able to bring the Mac out. He was playing Don Quixote, Doflamingo. And he was spamming blockers, fucking Crocodile on the board. All that stuff. And Boa, Hancock, like, he was just so many blockers, and I'm like, bro, I just can't get rid of those blockers. I can't get through them. So I decided to add at least just one of this to kind of keep in my hand if they do have a lot of blockers, that I can just play it for the 1 and just go in. And then also for the trigger, it kills a blocker with 3k or less. So you know, it's at 1. If I see it, you know, I'll push in. But if not, it's fine, to be honest with you. I just wanted access to it. Then our last level 1 option is from the starter deck, Guard Point. There's a nice picture of Chopper on it. I love Chopper. It is a counter, so you activate it during the counter step, which is your defense step. When your opponent attacks, they'll do any when attackings, and then you have your combo step, which is your counter step in this game, is what it's actually called. And then that's whenever you're able to use your combo counters. Like, that's whenever you're able to use those counters, your 2Ks and your 1Ks, or you can use these. Now, you can double up and you can use like an event and combo. So just keep that in mind. You can use an event and combo still. You just not it's not one or the other. So this is counter. It costs 1. Your leader or one of your characters gain 3k power during this battle. And the trigger, your leader or one of your characters gain 1k for the turn. So yeah, this kind of just helps us push away a little bit of damage if we need to. And then moving on to we have 2 cost events. I run 3 Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. That's a name. It costs 2, and as a counter, your leader or one of your characters gain 4k power during this battle, then KO one of your opponent's characters with 4k or less. And then the trigger, give one of your opponent's leader or one of their characters minus 10k power during this turn. So minusing power doesn't kill. It's not like Super in that way, or Digimon, where if you drop it to 0, it dies. It's just at 0 in this game. I don't like that, but I get it. I really do get it. I understand it. But so typically this just drops them to 0 to where they're not really doing damage. But I like the fact that it's it costs 2, gives you 4k, then you're able to kill something 4k or less on your opponent. And then our last card is 2 of the what I like to call the problem solver. Gum Gum Jet Pistol. It's a main, not a counter, so you have to activate it on your turn. For 4, it's a main. KO one of your opponent's characters with 6k or less power. And then the trigger is activate this card's main effect. So this gets rid of our opponent's problem cards up to 6k or less, or actually technically if you combo it with the that Brook. Let's see, this one. Where's he at? This one. If you combo it with that Brook, you could swing, turn an 8k minus 2, turn an 8k into a 6k, and then use Gum Gum Jet Pistol to kill it. You just kind of got to combo it that way. But he's our problem solver. He gets rid of cards as long as they're 6k or less. If it's a problem card, it'll deal with it. It's killed a lot of Yamatos in recent testing. The Yamato for green that has Double Strike and Banish, which of course Double Strike. Dragon Ball Super dealt 2 damage, and then like in Digimon it's security attack +1 basically. But Banish means the cards that are hit in life you don't add to hand. Typically you normally would add them to hand. But Banish is basically critical on Dragon Ball Super, or burning a security on Digimon. Basically it's just sent right to the trash. And it's not checked at all, and nothing happens. No attacks go off. No effects go off. No triggers or nothing like that. So, but that is the deck. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you to all my locals if y'all are watching. Everybody who's hooked me up on making this deck, getting me the cards for good prices, and just helping me out and throwing me, commons and stuff my way for free or a little charge. This deck is super fun to play, and it's super powerful. It only has a problem. Like I said, Don Quixote, Doflamingo was only a problem because of all the blockers that was on the field. Honestly, I was able to get him down to like no life in the matter of like 4 turns. The issue was just after that, he had just so many blockers, I just could not get through them. It was just a fight really to that point, and he ended up taking it because I was all the blockers he had. I kind of just gassed out my combos and he was able to win. So it happens. But I haven't really ran it into what's it called? The green deck, the Eustace deck, and I haven't ran it into Crocodile, the blue-purple Crocodile. But other than that, it's pretty, it's so fast. It's kind of just, it just deals with a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, let me just talk about some tech choices real quick. You could use, instead of Zoro, but honestly, Zoro is better. But this is not bad at all. For a leader, here's the starter deck, Monkey D. Luffy leader. Active main, you may give this leader or one of your characters a Rested Dawn. Nothing wrong with that. Really good effect. I just like Zoro because he gives everything 1K if you have a Dawn underneath him. But honestly, this is just a good choice too if you want to go that route. And then also, this is a good card if you could find room for it. The Zoro or Dawn 1, he gets 1K, and then it carries over to your opponent's turn, so he'll be a 6K on your opponent's turn. It's it's a good card, but honestly, I would rather 4 of the Rush Zoro, and then secondly, well, again, you could add more Diable Jambes to get over blockers, and then this is guard point. You could add another guard point if you want, or you can add the stage, which is Thousand Sunny. Activate main. You may rest the stage, and a Straw Hat crew leader or character gets 1K power. So this was in the deck at 2 whenever it was Luffy, but I took it out because it basically does what Zoro's effect does. So, but it gives it to the whole field. So this only goes to one character when Zoro just hits the whole field. So that's why I chose to not run those, but you can if you want. But anyway, that's the One Piece deck profile. Hope you guys play it. Hope you guys enjoy the game. I'm really having fun playing it. I'm not giving up on Digimon at all. Not yet, at least. Set 11. A lot of people are scared about Set 11. I actually have a lot of my locals quitting the game because Set 11 is so oppressive. But, I mean, honestly, I'll just see how it is. But honestly, I'm loving One Piece, and I'm going to try to juggle both of them as far as content and playing locally goes. But hope you guys love the deck profile. Try it out. Test it with your friends. Yeah, so that's the deck profile. Enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section what changes you would make, or what your ideas are. If you think the deck should be altered or edited in any sort of way. Go for it. Comment section's live. Ready for whoever wants to say anything. Just keep it nice. We're all friends here. We're just trying to be a bunch of players just bouncing ideas off of each other. That's all we're trying to do here. All right. Till next time, Break TCG. Later.